Oh, bother.
Hello my friends, and welcome back to our Reikland Thematic Let's Play here in the Old World by Chaos Roby. If you'll humor me, I would like to read you a preamble for today's episode. Of course, if that's not what you'd like to do, then feel free to skip ahead. In the years since Karl Franz was crowned, there was little in the way of peace and stability. With hardly any time to celebrate his victory, much less consolidate power, the Emperor was faced with a coup attempt. Two of his father's most seasoned veterans had turned against him, quickly seizing half of the province and leaving the other half to ruin in their wake. It was only thanks to his network of spies that Franz had any time to react. Leaving most of Altdorf under control of his steward, Adalbert von Bogenberg, Karl quickly gathered a dozen loyal regiments and set out against the city of Thom. Joined by General Otto Kross and the Imperial champion Ludwig Schwarzhelm, the Emperor successfully recaptured central Reikland, landing a hard-fought victory against the rebels at Castle Graunberg under the watchful eye of the evil moon Morsley. With the main army defeated, Karl split his forces and moved to end the secession where it had started. Nearly a year after the war had begun, in the city of Ubersreich, the Emperor met the rebel leaders on the battlefield, delivering them a final crushing blow. Though the Emperor understood the gravity of what these men had done, the presence of Morsley in the sky over Castle Graunberg led him to question the true cause of this period of strife. Upon interrogation, Reinhard von Mackensen remained steadfast and stoic. His more belligerent co-conspirator, Hans Frankenfurter, however, not only confessed their benefactor, but offered insight that this individual was still in the walls. In exchange for Reinhard's life, Hans confessed that it was indeed Boris Todbringer that had incited the rebellion, claiming that the Emperor had killed his own father and manipulated the electors under threat of civil war, should they elect another. Todbringer had promised assistance in a pincer maneuver on the capital to take the city quickly and hold a new election without the manipulation of Karl Franz. Acting upon this information, Franz, Schwarzhelm, and a handful of Reichsguard moved into action. Bursting through the doors of the Red Moon Inn, the tavern, usually brimming with activity, was silent. The innkeeper and his patrons were nowhere to be found. There was but one man sitting alone in the room, Boris Todbringer. As Karl Franz entered the hall, Todbringer remained unmoving. "How many lives did it take to get here?" Todbringer inquired. "Too many," said the Emperor, "and you will pay for each one." With that, Boris Todbringer stood up as though to lunge at the Emperor. As the Reichsguard drew their swords and Schwarzhelm stepped forward, Todbringer stopped, a twisted smile on his face. He began to laugh. A laugh that began as a deep bellow slowly became a ravenous cackle. The shape of a proud imperial elector twisted into something else entirely. Then all at once, the shape collapsed onto the floor. Stepping forward to investigate, one of the Reichsguard reached for the misshapen creature before having his head suddenly removed from his body. The shape then shot towards Karl Franz, only to have its blade blocked by Ludwig Schwarzhelm. Revealing itself entirely, the creature appeared to be a man-sized, rat-like monstrosity. "Skaven," uttered Franz. Finally, everything had connected for the Emperor. the rebellion, Morsleeve, the conflicting reports of Todbringer fighting beastmen in Midland while simultaneously being spotted around Reikland. It was all a ploy, a plan to weaken Reikland for an invasion from below. Should word of this get out, the people would panic, and so Carl drew his runefang. It was then that the creature leapt past the Emperor and his champion, killing 3 more Reiksguard as it bolted through the window and out into the winter's night. Ludwig attempted to give chase, but was stopped by Karl Franz, who said, "Order the men to make ready. We still have work to do." And with that, we can now jump on in to our actual Let's Play. So, all right, and I do hope that you guys enjoyed that little snippet. If you do enjoy that kind of thing, then I am more than happy to pepper some more of our episodes with those, where we kind of dive in a little bit deeper to a specific event or scenario to kind of flesh out this world and, well, just tell a better story. That being said, as we look at Reikland, we still have quite a bit to do. Upper Teufel is still not combined or united, and Grissenwald is completely out of our hands. Now, there is something that Karl Franz did uncover in that little snippet, if you didn't have time to watch it or chose not to, and that is that there is the possibility that the Skaven are involved with this scenario, or with this rebellion. So basically, Karl Franz assumed that Dukelberg as well as Grunberg were under the control of the rebels or cut off by the rebels, and that's why there was no communiques coming from those towns. However, with the city of Ubersreich having jumped back into our hands, let me pop that back, there we go. With the city of Ubersreich back in our hands, there's still no communication coming from these towns, so he has assumed the worst and believes that there could be Skaven at hand. Now, something about the lore of this world, if you don't know, the Empire does not acknowledge that Skaven exists, and so this is going to be kind of a tricky thing for the Emperor to deal with. He's going to have to communicate to his men that, in fact, there are beastmen that are more or less rats, and that they behave like rats, and maybe even order all of his men to keep this a secret under penalty of death. So we've got that to worry about. Also, in the north, we have a unique situation. The dwarves under Rorik Granithand have decided to capture our territory out from under the orcs. This wouldn't be a problem, except the dwarves also chose not to vacate our territory once eliminating those orcs. And there is more at hand than what lies on the surface. So it does appear that they believed the Empire Secessionists were in the right. Now, whether this plays into the greater plot or not, I'm not sure. But they are against us. And while they're not directly at war with us, they do seem to hold a grudge. And you know about dwarves and grudges, I'm sure. So that is our situation now. We're not going to declare hostilities against the dwarves, at least not right this second. Instead, we're going to go and capture Helmgart from the Clusteride tribe. Hopefully that will at least allow us to control this pass, and then we can decide on how best to deal with the dwarves. All that being said, I believe that we are at the end of this turn, and I will see you as it rolls to the next one.
A quest has been issued, mighty lord. A great adventure beckons. Be wary, though, for while the potential rewards are great, so too are the perils.
All right, and as you can see, we have received reports of a Norscan raiding party that is, well, trying to raid the coast of Nordland. we're going to have to put that on hold for now, hopefully not to the detriment of Nordland. And it looks like we have the Stones of the Ancients. Now, I've never actually seen this one before, so pretty exciting. Ancient stone circles have been discovered in your state, remnants of the old faith, which in a prior age may have involved a primitive form of nature and blood sacrifices. There is evidence of recent activity at these sites, indicating there are those who still practice the dead religion. The discovery of the monoliths and their recent use is angering the recognized cults of the Empire, who always seek to subvert any elder meaning, dismissing it as backward, regressive, and a distraction from the true religions. In the modern day, the cults have considerable political gravitas within the Empire, so their opinion should perhaps not be overlooked. What action will you take? So we can bury the evidence for 500 prestige. We can bribe the cults for 2,000, and that's quite a bit of our money. We can do nothing and lose fealty from all of our Elector Count factions, or we can demolish the monoliths for 1,000 prestige, and that's going to give us fealty from all of our Elector Counts plus 1. I'm going to say let's definitely do that. Carl Franz isn't going to put up with the false religions. He is a devout follower of Sigmar, and that's just how we're going to play this. Now, we do have another situation brewing. So this is going to play into the scenario that we had at the beginning of the game. Reikland still stands, battered but unbroken by the turmoil that consumed it. The first challenge to the reign of Karl Franz has been answered, yet the Empire waits on bated breath for the greatest threats to the unity of the Empire have only begun to stir. Oh, for the greatest threats to the unity of the Empire. I don't know why I misread that. Now, other provinces have seen the new Emperor's weakness in the mere fact that the Secessionists came so close to success. But so too have they witnessed the steel which brought it to heel. The leader of these rebels, one Reinhard von Mackensen, has been brought before his true emperor. Believed to be backed by Midland, he is a decorated veteran. He truly believes he acted to save the Empire, not destroy it. Nonetheless, the Elector Counts expect a show of strength to prove that Karl Franz is a true emperor, not some fawning prince. So, as we discovered in our opening to this episode, Boris Todbringer was the one who in fact incited this rebellion, but it was not actually Boris Todbringer. Now, Reinhard von Mackensen, being a fellow Midlander first, truly believed the lord of his homeland when he said that Emperor Karl Franz had murdered his father and tried to kill the other elector, or tried to be elected under threat of breaking the empire apart, which was a true threat indeed, if true, if substantiated. Reinhardt, after the discovery of the Ratman disguised as Boris Todbringer, really owned up to the fact that, well, he was wrong. And that he only intended to capture the Emperor, being Karl Franz, and interrogate him up to the validity of these, well, claims that the not Boris Todbringer was bringing against him. And so the Emperor is left with a choice. We could kill them, which would be perfectly acceptable. Although, being Midland obviously would not have a very bright outlook on this. We could imprison them. That's really just a delaying tactic, and it's going to make the population unhappy. We can banish the Secessionist general. That's going to banish him, I believe, back to his homeland. Or we can spare and recruit the Secessionist general. Now, it's tempting to go ahead and just banish him, because we don't believe that he deserves to die. although he led very, very many men, Reiklanders in fact, to their deaths. But what we could do is force them to serve in place of all the men that they sacrificed. And I believe that that's what we're going to do. Reinhardt will stay in prison for a while. He has no business leading men. And his companion, Hans Frankenfurter, will be put on the front lines. Not given a command position. He will battle it out on the front until he is deemed worthy of a command once again. So that's what we're going to do.
The nation calls.
And we're going to put Hans
Your orders?
We're going to order him north. Because we don't need another hero in this army. Just being real. A little bit out of universe on that one, but we don't need another lord in this army, or another hero in the army. And Karl Franz just isn't going to deal with having him with having him in his presence. He's still pretty pissed, which can't blame him. Now let's see. We do have some buildings available to upgrade, so we're going to upgrade those. Well, it looks like we can only upgrade one.
Now.
Let's see what we can do with auto.
Yes.
We can reach Helmgart this turn.
It is war.
So we're going to do that. And I wish I could get Hans in on this, but we're going to hold out for just a second.
Into battle.
We will be fighting that battle this turn.
The nation calls. As is my right.
And for now,
by
we're going to
Sigmar's crown.
fortify here. This is where Karl Franz is going to inform his men of the actual current situation and what they will be facing when they move in against Dukelberg.
I will marshal the men.
And we will be swearing them all to silence on the matter.
To arms!
They will not speak of what they see, or they will be put to death. Now, back on less gruesome terms, we're going to go ahead and invest in the East End. That is our... Well, let's not invest in the East End yet. Let's invest in the North. Neither one of these are actually very safe, now that I'm looking at them. But we've got to invest somewhere. And that will be that for now. And I'll see you as the turn rolls on. And it does appear that greenskins have attacked an elector state. Let's see. Are we going to support them? Of course we're going to support them. I just need to figure out how we're going to support them. And it looks like that's how we're going to do it. We're going to hire some nearby mercenaries. Fortunately, this is the best way for us to make some money back. And it will be our first battle of the episode. And it looks like a guy named Boris is going to be leading the charge. So let's get into it. The Emperor, knowing that his troops were overstretched in his own county, knew that he could not afford to send any aid directly to Midland. However, being unwilling to ignore the plight of his people, he put out the word for any group of mercenaries for a specified amount of gold to aid the city in its time of need. And so the call of aid was answered. Boris, the leader of a mercenary band and a knight himself, would lead the charge to rescue the city, though whether or not it would be in time was another matter entirely.
Keep your heads down, men! They're coming through! The gods have abandoned us! Caster! Three! Sigma! Thrash them! Battle! Green-skin scum! Alex, keep! Retreat! Blood on our heads!
And it looks like we have a decisive victory. The mercenary, going only by the name of Boris, was able to pull off a substantial victory against Bludget One Finger. Thankfully, that'll be the last we see from him. Let's get some of that money back. All right, and moving on, we have an unusual location discovered in Ubersreich. So let's go check it out. And it looks like we have the exquisite vineyard, not vineyard. So from a distance, this vineyard looks immaculate. Its grapevines perfectly kept, almost as if sculpted into the hillside. It's almost hard to resist paying such a place a visit. So we are going to get some Slaanesh corruption, but we do get +2 control and a chance for events to trigger related to this location. Is it worth getting rid of? I don't think so yet. At least, no one really suspects anything yet. If an event does trigger, or the Slaaneshi corruption grows to be too much, then we will investigate and find what's going on with that area. So it looks like we've got a couple more battles to fight this episode, or at least this turn.
It is war.
And I totally forgot to fight the one at Helmgart, so let's start with that one. Lacking siege equipment and time to construct siege equipment, Autocross is faced with a bit of a situation. How to take a fortified city. In fact, a fortress in and of itself. However, due to some information he had received from some of his soldiers who were once stationed at Helmgard, he found out that there were some old scaffolding, well, more like ladders used for scaffolding, hidden amongst the left side of the wall closest to the river. And so he would use these ladders, even though it would be a slow trudge to take the walls, as a quicker means of getting into the city. As he never knew when the dwarves might seek to fulfill their grudges, and could not afford the time for a prolonged siege. Whether this plan would work out or not is up to the gods.
To the enemy! keeps us strong. What is counsel?
and a Pyrrhic victory on on the, well, conscious, if you could call it that, of Otto Cross. Many men's lives were lost. However, victory was achieved, and it was achieved through his brilliance. So just keep that in mind. And of course, we're going to occupy the settlement. And we have a mission successful. It is only through conquest that true power may be achieved. Build your forces, take the fight to your enemies, and capture their settlements for yourself. The additional facilities and income brought under your banner will afford you yet greater power to wage war. I can agree with that.
What does the Emperor bid? So,
That said, we can't rest on our laurels here at Helmgart.
by the comet.
Although I'm sure Otto Cross could definitely take for some resting on his laurels. After that battle, Otto has become even more skilled at ordering men into death. So we're going to give him credit on that. And for our final battle, we have
To
the
unite the provinces.
investigation of Dukelberg.
Pick up the pace.
And just as Carl Franz predicted, we have discovered rats in the ruins of Dukelberg. Where its citizens have gone, nobody knows. Let's find out.
Never!
As Karl Franz and his army marched upon the city, he wondered what kind of enemy he was up against. From what he had understood, they were a cowardly lot. And yet, these cowards decided that they were going to march out into the field against him. Would they regret this choice? Who could say? But they were up against a hardened army of the Empire now. And so no matter how the battle ensued, Karl knew that his men would win.
using dark forces again.
And in our first foray against the Skaven, we have a decisive victory. Whether or not word will get out is kind of up in the air right now, but I would like to know what you guys think of whether or not the rumors should spread, especially from members of the army, and if so, what would the Emperor do about it? But that is going to bring us to an end of this episode. Guys, let me know what you think, and it might be running a little bit long, but I'd say after about a week since my last episode that it's pretty well earned. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one, and until then, to all my friends, wherever you are, good morning, good evening, and good night.